by the way, this is Nina Tiara. Did I pronounce that right? Is that
Tiara? Tiara, yeah. Tiara is good. Tiara, yeah.
Okay. And welcome to Vumex Beauty Beat. This is how it goes when we get a couple gals together. We start talking before we even say hello to each other. That's the fun of this. Yeah, so I will definitely, I love the chit chat, and that's, I think, what women want to watch. I don't think they want to watch the formal interview thing anymore. I think that's been done and been there, done that. And with YouTube now, I think it should just be, I mean, I have a guide, but if it takes a tangent, goes in a direction that is completely off topic, I am okay with that. So don't worry about like being formal or anything like that, because it's, especially with your topic, it's so personal. It's good that you feel grounded with somebody you can really relate to and stuff like that. So don't worry about it. So we'll have to book that.
You know what? It's important for the audience to know the work that I do. But like you said, it's okay. We women like to chit chat. In that chit chat, this is my experience. When you're open to it and grab it, you can figure out what you want from it. And sometimes we get too into formality. And like I said, I thought it was Wednesday today. And so I thought, but then I realized, and you were so easy and like, oh, it's okay. Like you don't have, it's a conversation. And then I felt, oh, okay, Nina. And it's important to share what I do, but also, we don't want to get it too formal, like you said.
Right. I mean, when I saw what you did first of all, to me, seems original. I've never even heard of this before, but boy, could I have used this when I got divorced. I sure could have used your services, because I was just so alone. I was so alone. So basically you're a divorce coach. Divorce, but it doesn't mean you have to get divorced. It means, if you're thinking about breaking up, or if you're thinking about your relationship, if it's right for you. And from what I understand, and I kind of watched, over the last week, watched you on the Sing show. What's his name again?
Harpreet Singh. That was my first interviews, and I was so nervous. You can probably tell.
Oh my God, I was watching your progression. Actually, I'm like, look at her now. She's just like. It's relaxed and natural, but it's also, I think, different talking to women as it is talking to men. I think about divorce, because you really do lean towards helping women, I think. Is that, or do you do exclusively, or just?
So I do mostly women. I find men aren't ready yet. I do have a 3-month program for men as well. Some men have approached me, but I find they need a 3-month program because they don't like to chat as well. They just want to they're very direct. So they just want to get to the source. How can you support them? Right.
Yeah.
So basically, go back. So what I do is I support women that are feeling undecided whether to leave or stay. And I can kind of give you just my story. So I stayed in a marriage for 22 years, not knowing what was wrong with me. So a little I don't want to get too much into it, because I hear this a lot from when they're feeling depression, anxiety, stomach problems, all kinds of stuff. So my situation was, I'll give you a background of my story. I was, when I came from India, so basically born and raised here, educated. But I was in a marriage where, again, it was arranged, but at the end, women are women. It doesn't matter. So I can understand a cultural woman, but I can also understand a Western woman here. Mm-hmm. So my journey was, I was in a marriage, and I had a lot of health issues, depression, anxiety, you name it, under the sun, I had it. So this went on. I worked with various practitioners and mentors and naturopathic doctors. And it was only in 2008 that I met a woman who, it was funny because she was going to the same naturopathic and training under him, the last part of the program, becoming a naturopathic doctor. Mm-hmm. So I started, I entered her clinic in 2008. At this point, I spent $100,000 on my health, if not more. And of course, overspending on having that distraction of feeling good, which is a temporary fix. Right. So I went to her in 2008, and she basically said to me, believe in the work I do. Don't go anywhere else. I would tell you when to get other support with work I do. So believe in the work I do. You'll live the life you deserve and want. Your kids will become like you, and you'll find your soul purpose. Those 4 things at the time I did not understand. But as I keep doing the work from 2008, layers and layers. So basically the root. So I worked for her from 2008. I was only able to leave my marriage 2012, because now I finally found out why I was so frustrated. It wasn't only my health, which was main. It was me not having emotional clarity and boundaries. and
Mm.
having the skills and tools to deal with a relationship, how to communicate with a man, when to
Yeah.
say no. I wasn't taught these tools as a child. Again, that went back to cultural programming, conditioning, beliefs that were given to me.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm Italian. You know, it's not all that
Okay,
different. You
great.
know, my father's Sicilian, which is even, it's like the rough, the more tight and narrow-minded, kind of Italian area of the country. So, yeah, I grew up with sort of very strict and very certain way upbringing. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Which I broke every rule, so.
oh, I've done the same. So we'll talk about that later, breaking rules. That could be a
Yeah.
whole different topic. Um, so yeah, so I kept doing the work with her, and I had no intention of being in my marriage whatsoever. I thought it was
Mm.
fine. My ex, I still say he's a wonderful man. We just grew apart because we were together for 22 years. It was like me waking up from a coma. I really believe I woke up I was asleep and I woke up from
Wow.
a coma because I was so suppressed emotionally, not emotionally, but physically. I had so many issues. Like getting out of bed was hard. So when I did this woman's work, basically it's energy work.
Mm-hmm.
So one layer comes up, another layer comes up. So there's a lot of ebbs and flows for years. She told me it was a long journey. There was times I wanted to leave because I didn't want to do the work because there's so much suppression. Like
Mm.
every emotion was buried to feel it, because most people, we're in a society where quick fixes. So take antidepressants. So one of the good things that worked for me is I never was on antidepressants. I didn't believe in the medical system. I believe in it when you need it. It's great, but it's a quick fix symptom patcher system. I call it.
Yeah.
So, if I had been on antidepressants, my journey would have been easier.
Mm.
Because she tried to put me on, they would not work because I'm a highly intuitive empath. So I'm not sure if you understand that word, but
I am with you. Yes.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the audience, I'm very sensitive to medication, people, everything. I can feel everything. So I was feeling this as a child, but didn't know what it was because I wasn't taught this as a child.
Mm.
So basically with all the work I did with her, I released layers and layers and layers every day. I had 2 kids to look after. I had a job. We had a business. We were building and selling homes. There's a lot going on. There's days I didn't know what was going on. I just went with it because my biggest thing I want to do was get well. And I was willing to do anything for my health. Anything.
Mm.
So for 2008, 2012, I was finally made the decision to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I left.
Did you have was it like a sudden moment, or was it like a gradual over a few months?
It
Was
was
it like woke
gradual.
up one morning and that's it?
So basically, when I started doing the work with this woman, 2008, it was 2009, I said to her, and she's also a naturopathic doctor, and she's also a coach. So
Mm.
it was 2 in 1. I said to her, I said, I think I've married the wrong person. And what I love about her coaching is she listened to me. She didn't say, I look at leaving your marriage. So basically, as I've done the work, I gradually found out, going through other seminar work, other reading, a combination, a lot of work I did, other mentors. I learned through that yeah, I had married. It wasn't even married the wrong person. It was kind of having the realization I wasn't happy here because I was changing.
Yeah.
So we separated in 2012, and we later divorced in 2015. I was still doing the work. My biggest breakthrough came in 2017 when I ending up on a retreat, which I call the retreat from hell in Bali. Basically, I had seen this fellow and we just resonated. And before you know it, I tried twice to go to the retreat. They didn't accept me, or something else would come up. I didn't have the money or whatever. So 2017, I was on this retreat in July 2017. Oh my God, it was a 12-day retreat. And the resistance I had there, I wanted to leave because
Mm.
things were coming up more. So basically, I'm fighting with him. We were divorced at this time, but the kids were younger.
Yeah.
And I was fighting with him on the phone. So basically, more stuff was coming up that I hadn't dealt with. So even
Mm.
though I had done so much work, I still wasn't feeling my emotions to the
Yeah.
extent that I feel them now, and being to operate from that place. So basically, in that retreat, 2 years after the retreat, I collapsed. I did not work. The depression I had was unreal. So basically, when I told my mentor what happened, because she had gone to the retreat too, and I won't mention the retreat because it was called the Boundless Bliss Journey. by Coop Blackson. We're not allowed to share a lot about the retreat,
Okay.
but enough that it did bring a lot of stuff up for me that needed to heal. So I collapsed. So my mentor basically said to me, she goes, if you had not done all the work with me, you'd be in a wheelchair. Maybe that was too much.
Yeah. It can affect your body for sure.
It did. But I had so much support from her that I was able to overcome she had gone. So she knows what I was feeling. So, so basically from that retreat, after that retreat, I had full-blown depression again, and I couldn't connect the dots. And the more dots I connected, I realized that, that I still wasn't feeling my emotions. So then I worked with another mentor for 6 weeks. He's still a doctor. This is still part of my journey, and he understands the retreats and the work that I did. And he supported me, and that's when I finally was able to connect the dots, even more integrate my emotions into the stuff that had happened in my life. Right. So even though I had done all this work, I still wasn't integrating everything. So that was the magic. And then, bang. We were trying to work it out, and I realized, no, the decision I made was the right decision for me, because we had so grown apart. Yeah. And what I learned from that was that, and I truly believe this for myself, everybody's journey is different, that we meet people for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So I met him to help me heal. So we're, everybody's reflecting parts of ourselves that need healing.
Yeah. It's such a hard thing to know, though, when you've got that, when you're in a situation, in a relationship, and especially if you've been in it for several years, there's, a comfort level and the fear of leaving that comfort zone, especially right now, Nina, like, where are people going to go? They're going to go sit in another room by themselves. Like, they're already isolated because of COVID and everything else. And then, there's probably stirred up emotions because of the world changing and getting on each other's nerves and blah, blah, blah. But it's so hard to know. I know even with the relationship that I'm in now, he won't watch this because he won't take the time to watch it. But just to tell you factually, I flip-flop. I flip-flop all the time. I, love, and then I'm like, you can do a lot better, it's like it just flip-flop, or it's better by yourself, or whatever. I just go in that flip-flop mode all the time. And there must be so many women like me who do the same thing. Sometimes, and I think that and sometimes you don't know if you're being emotionally manipulated, if you're being abused. Is that just how people are? Are you confused? Like, that's the kind of confusion I think would be super beneficial, to have somebody to talk it through, to really clarify and like, look, the grass isn't greener, and this is actually totally normal, or whatever. And, but I'm in a constant state of confusion with my relationship, whether to keep it or toss it, constantly. And so I could definitely see how this would be such a need. I likely need coaching.
I think always growing. It doesn't matter every woman, we're always growing. And because we have the gift of emotions, and you're feeling frustrated, overwhelmed, and many women are. And I think what it is, we have a lot more awareness in this generation, and women have the gift of emotions. So for me, I had this awareness, but I wasn't acting on it, getting support. And sometimes there's not the right kind of support. So when you say you're always feeling a state of, is this the right relationship for me? You're in love, you're not. I think a woman, when she feels that, is to get help or start doing some work on their own. Start just journalizing. I know women or people in general think, right, that is so useless. And I thought it myself, but now I think when I start writing, I've had different things come in my life with girlfriends, or, because I've done so much work on emotions, people are often projecting their reality on me. And, I had a girlfriend I went camping with, example, I just write, I didn't speak to her for almost 2 months, and we were going to reflect back to her what happened, what we learned about each other for 5 days. It was too much with her. I wrote, and I realized, and I sat with the emotions. The old Nina wouldn't sit with it. So oftentimes women, we don't sit. We're in this because we can what's the word I'm looking for? We can multitask. And we
Mm.
forget to sit with our emotions. And the biggest gift is to sit with our emotions for days, hours, weeks, months. I don't care. Sit with them and really write, what are you feeling? Right?
Mhm.
Because it's not about the other person. It's about stuff you need to clear within. Men are simple. I got to be honest. I didn't learn this. Men are simple. I'm dating now and I think, wow. And like you, we've had this push and pull, but because I've had so much coaching behind me and the work I've done with my emotions, it never ends. It's like the well is so deep.
Yeah.
I finally think I've got rid of one layer. Something else comes up. I'm like, when does this end? I was sitting on the couch and something else came up. And I'm like, oh, I need to do this because I thought I was done that, right? So I think my job is to help women. We so need support. You know, when people are deciding whether to leave or whether to stay, I
Mm.
have a woman right now that's hired me for 12 months coaching. And she's a mirror reflection of me because I started my journey in 43 as well. And she's 43. Indian, beautiful woman, but her programming and the way she talks about her man, and he gives her money, he does everything. He paid for her program with me for 12 months, and everything's happened like this. They're amazing clients because then they're so easier to work with. They'll come on the calls and I support them. At this point, she has no idea. I don't think she'll be. The man sounds like a really nice man. It's learning how to communicate with this man.
Mm.
Oftentimes women don't, and this is my journey too, so I'm not perfect yet either, is learning how to communicate with a man, whether the man is white, black, yellow, green. I don't care. It's
Yeah.
learning how to, we haven't been taught this.
No,
It's,
this is true.
and dating and relationships so changed because of online. It's not that you can't meet people online, you can, but it's knowing self.
Mm. Well, for a blink of life, for a few years, I was a matchmaker, a professional matchmaker. So I'm listening to you in the whole, dipping your toe into the dating pool again. And so you must be watching, though, for some red flags. You must be looking for emotional red flags that to watch out for. Can you maybe share a few red flags that you're just kind of keeping your eye on, and then whether you're in a relationship or dating or anything, watch for these? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Okay, so my journey has been so different than a lot of
Mm.
eye catches because I've been on some dating groups. My own coach, relationship coach, told me to go on, and I did. I go, I don't resonate. These women are always leaning back, leaning forward, leaning back. I am so tired of this. So basically, I did more work with my relationship coach and found out that it's all within. That person is just reflecting a mirror of things
Mm.
you need to heal. So the more healing I did, the more the right men came forward.
Mm.
Even now that I'm kind of, been dating someone for the last year or so, I find that everything comes up. It's my stuff healing. Men are simple. They
Yeah.
love our feminine energy. I got to be honest. I didn't think that first. So this leaning back and so in terms of red flags, what are my red flags? This man's very interesting. He has some issues where he forgets, which is
Mm.
fine. I'm not going to share everything. He's got some issues, forget. So in his business, I wonder how he operates. So women need to kind of, I'm not a dating expert, so I don't want to be because I have enough on my plate. I have enough on my plate, just like
Yeah.
you. We can do a lot. We women have the gift of doing it all. And yeah, and I basically, my journey has been so deep. Just go back a little bit, it's 13 years to get where I am today. So I basically came symptom free with all my health issues and everything in 2018. Right? So 13 years span of healing. And I'm still healing, but now it's a different kind of healing.
Right.
So go back to the red flags. So one of the red flags I learned was, he said he was going to give me these gifts and I didn't receive them. And I'm like, interesting. This is a red flag. But as a woman, I had that fear of asking. So it's the way you ask. So I said something like that. Oh, it makes me feel, I'm a priority when you say something, I can't remember exactly. I feel like I'm a priority that I didn't receive those gifts. So instead of pointing or blaming, you bring it back to self and how you feel, because men find us quite magnetized when we share our feelings. That's how they connect to us because they don't have the gift of feelings. So that's feminine energy. So I did a lot of work on the masculine and the feminine. I'm still learning. It was a huge So that was one. Or showing that you want to see them more often. How you do it is in a way where you're coming from your feelings. It would feel great if I were able to spend more time with you. Or like, for instance, this Christmas, I wrote in my text the other day, I said, yeah, would it be possible for a short getaway? Because he's very busy, just like I'm getting busy. He says, oh, that would be possible. What are your thoughts? So those are some of the things of communicating with men. Red flags, like I said, the gift. A lot of women are scared, they have known the man for some time, like I have. And like I said, he forgets because he has a problem, which I'm not going to share, on social media, because we all have issues. We're not perfect. I have tons of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I feel he's a great man. So, one was, oh God, I'm trying to think. He thought I had met his family because I was over his place once.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, did you not meet my mother? And I said, no, because she was sleeping. And I kind of connected dots why. He goes, oh, my bad. I thought you did that day. And knowing his condition, I remember he doesn't have Alzheimer's, but he's got some. And I thought, okay, maybe you need. And I said, how do you operate your business? He goes, well, I have to write everything down. I'm like, okay, maybe you need a ding every few days. Ask Nina if this got taken care of or something.
Well, what to get him for Christmas is something to do with his memory. Maybe a little watch with the little reminders on it or something.
Well, he's got everything, like you say, what do you get man for Christmas or any gift? Because when they're so well-to-do in business or whatever, and most men that are there in that level of consciousness, I say, then they already have everything. They got the Apple Watch. They've got everything. They got the Philippe Petit, which I had to learn about.
I don't even know what that is.
There you go. I had to YouTube it. And I told my son, who's 21, he goes, Mom, all the rappers have it. I go, what?
Yeah.
What? And they only make one a year, apparently. Oh. I had no idea. And they can run anywhere up to $1 million. I was like, so there's a lot. Yeah.
Well, can I say, I want to say this one thing. One thing I find, especially if you're a strong, centered woman, it's got its positives, but I find it the stronger I am, the more it kind of makes a rift, almost like more confident and strong. It almost makes him feel more like insecure, and I see him acting up and just gaslighting more and just doing weird behavior because of my strength and my security. So that insecurity of theirs maybe, and I talk to other friends, women who are strong, and they have a heck of a time finding a man that can, handle their strength. I don't know if you've run across that. And the more confident and better I feel about myself, the more boundaries I make, the more tests I get, Well,
it's a journey the self-improvement journey, once you're on it, it's never ending. You want to come off and you can't. It's just more growth for you. So in that sense, what I've noticed is when you meet someone, the other man is just, they want to be with someone who's also growing. That's been my experience. And he's actually, with his journey and stuff, he's actually moved forward with his growth. He's actually 10, 20 steps ahead of me. So I love that. And I've been on my journey for many years, but in business and relationship, fairly new to it. That for me is a gift because I'm learning from him, right? You want to be in a relationship where you're always growing.
Yeah.
Right.
And you have to be with somebody who actually wants to grow. Right.
That's right. And I see that. And the minute I lean back, he leans forward because and when you're saying that women can't find men that are have insecurities, men do have insecurities, but that's not our problem, really. And I think that's when I'm going back to emotions. It's look at your emotional health and work through it, because we're the ones with more emotions. Not that men are emotionally available, but their emotions show through actions. They're more action oriented and they like us to be direct. And the way we are direct, it has to be done a certain way through getting back to how we communicate with a man. That's another thing we haven't been taught through our mothers, generations, ancestrally.
Yeah. Wow.
There's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, there's so much.
There's a lot of people. Yeah.
I want to make sure that I get to everything here. Okay, so I was kind of curious to know that you went through all this. What made it in your mind? Like, what made you see this as a possible career path? At what point did you decide, oh gosh, I'm going to do this as a business?
Like I said, when I started working with this mentor in 2008, at that time I didn't understand it. My thing was I wanted to be symptom free, and I was willing to do anything for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because my journey was so deep that everything it was an energetic journey. Like I said, the medical system is suppressive. So everything had to be released and revealed. So I had so much suppression, even as a child to adulthood, that had to come out. So everything I had not felt I had to feel it 3 times worse.
Mm-hmm.
And that was hard because people don't want to feel. Okay.
No, I know.
So once I started doing the feeling work, releasing, and became grounded in self, everything just kind of started happening. I was like, I didn't fit into, I worked for, here's a gift. Another thing that was interesting in my journey was I worked for the medical system for 21 years. I was support staff for the nurses and doctors. Mm-hmm. And I went back and I'm like, I don't fit in here. Like, again, this is a system that had not worked for me. It didn't help me heal. It was there. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with our medical system. We need to integrate other things as well.
Mm-hmm. I agree
completely. Is huge. So basically, I went back to school. I always found this course. So as I was releasing layers, another layer would come up. So I wanted to work on so basically I had taken this program. It's called the Master Empowerment Coaching Program through SWAT, Simply Woman Accredited Trainer, one of the leading coaching training programs for women in Canada. Mm-hmm. I took that and did that online 3.5 years. And before you know it, I was like, oh, I thought I was going to just become a life coach. Every other life coach. And then I'm so glad I met an amazing business coach. And with her help, she goes, divorce coach? I go, what? And then I started connecting dots. I never thought I'd be a divorce coach. I wanted to do something else now that I was a whole different person. I had released so many layers. I got to my soul purpose through this work. And I started working with her. And before you know it, and I connected dots. I go, yeah, that took me a while to get that. But then I started connecting the dots. I said, yeah, I did not only did I heal, I also did my entire divorce on my own.
Yeah.
And, my divorce was easy. It was easy in the fact that my kids were older, but we were building and selling homes. And with my own health journey, we had a lot of debt to deal with. So we had our financials were different. So every divorce looks different, right? Mm-hmm. Every person is different. Their journey is different. Their finances look different. They're different as a person. So because I had done all this work, I was able to look at that and communicate with my partner how I wanted things to be. Mm-hmm. The next you know it, everything just fell in space. I met the right people who supported me through the divorce. And that's why I love the work I do, because you need support. Lawyers are great. I will not say lawyers are not bad, are not good to have. They're great. But they only support you with the legal, the laws. And I support you with emotional stuff and help you get grounded, because when you're going through a divorce, so many emotions come up. You've been with this person for so long, and you have children with them, and you have this attachment, you have emotions, and then you're angry, you're lashing out, he's lashing out, the kids get involved. There's so much to look at. And and that's the work I do. I look at all, and I have the right support systems for you. So you're with my support, you save time, money, and the emotional turmoil for everywhere that's involved.
So it's kind of like a hybrid between counseling, coaching, and even strategizing, right? 100%. Like to kind of, okay.
And I have resources and tools available at the right time. Mm-hmm. I have a lady right now that she's been on my journey. She signed up for my 6-month program because that's all she needed. And she spent $30,000-$40,000 on lawyers. Mm-hmm. It's a sad story. They were only together for about 4 or 5 months, but she kept this divorce going because she felt he was for immigration reasons. And then her cousin knows me, and she referred me on to her. And within a few sessions, she finally understood the pain that she was causing for not moving forward with a divorce. So now she's only paid for my 6-month program. Not only I'm helping her move through the process, for the 6 months. She didn't have to hire a lawyer yet. Now she's finally agreed on finalizing the divorce because she's held it in court for 3 years. And it was such a short marriage, you know, it's just her anger and stuff, feeling that she was cheated by this man for immigration reasons. And I'm helping her move through it. And within 3 months, she's working with me. She's come to that conclusion. And now I'm referring her on to a mediator who would charge her just a couple of $100 to look at the papers and finalize a divorce.
Yeah, because if you keep your life in suspension like that for so long, like you're just wasting time. You only have so much time on the earth. You want to, you know, do all that you can to enjoy your life.
And all the depression, anxiety she's feeling, and she's not able to work. She's a very smart woman, only 30. She has a whole head life. I'm so glad they don't have children. A whole head life ahead of her.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so glad. And right now I do have people that do that part, looking at the documents. Eventually I am in the process of doing the mediation course on my own. So I'll be able to do that legal part as much as I can before I refer them on to a lawyer.
Oh, that's really nice. So if somebody's watching this right now and they just don't, you know, they don't know how much it costs or how the sessions work or anything, can you kind of explain how the process works from the phone call on and go from there?
So what I do is when a client sees me on social media or they meet me or through a referral, they go on my website. Okay. And they go on my website, which is www.divorcetohappiness.ca.
I'll link it as well.
Yeah. So basically they just fill out my brief questionnaire, a couple of questions to get to know what's been going on. And then the questionnaire comes to me, and then we arrange a discovery call for 30 minutes, which is complimentary.
Okay.
And from the discovery call, I can help them see this. I can see deeper into the situation. Like I said, I'm highly intuitive. I can connect the dots, what's been going on. And I share with the woman what their gap and vision is, how I can support them and what they've been doing in the past. And from that, we can move forward. And then I have different programs. I've got a VIP day, and that's a 4-hour day and 4 hours in the day for women that have done no work at all. Because most women, I'm able to see them where they are in their journey, what they've tried, how much their awareness is already, and what they need. Because I don't want to sign them up for a year program. They don't need it, right? Where they are in their relationship challenges. And the VIP day is someone who's totally new, has done no work, and they're just like, I don't know what's going on. So the 4 hours is perfect for them, where we meet in person, and over that we go over their life challenges, what's been going on, and I support them there. And then they can either sign up for my 6-month or my 12-month program.
Okay. And I mean, I wouldn't imagine this kind of specialty, service is going to be dirt cheap or anything, but is it feasible for most women to afford?
Laura, it is very reasonable, considering when you go to a lawyer. And again, I am not here to bash lawyers. They're amazing. I want to get some lawyers on my team to support clients that work with my energy. So, like when you go to a lawyer, it's $3,500 retainer fee.
Oh, yeah.
Because I did go to a lawyer. I'm not saying I did, but I knew I could have done divorce differently because of my own journey. So $3,500, and that's used up quite quickly, and they don't get the emotional support. They're basically just going back and forth and trying to, I know it's important to get 50-50 and the settlement you deserve. But I feel there's other strategies I use that can be dealt with in a more professional manner. Because all they do is fight, and that $3,500, before you know it, a woman have used $30,000 to $40,000. I mean, there's so many examples I could share with you. Like my first client, the husband had a business, and she felt, they were married for 15 years with 3 children, and she felt, again, she was East Indian, she felt that she couldn't work it out. And so women weren't able to work it out. She said, I'm not going to get nothing from him. I managed to get her a $450,000 settlement. And it was just advocating in communicating with a man in a different way. Because they don't like it when people come across angry. Then you're not going to get the settlement. Then all you're going to do is fight, and who's going to win?
Yeah.
The lawyer's going to get all the money. So let's get a lawyer and use it exactly when you need it. And that's the guidance I give.
You know what I see when I go, I almost want to get some cards for you or some whatever. Here in Victoria, they have, like, at the law courts, they've got a little law library, and it's full every day of families who are having to, navigate the court system, whether it's going to be for the breakup or the kids or blah, blah, blah. And I'm in there doing some work on something other project, and I was asked a million questions and I know nothing. I mean, that place is packed every single day, dealing with, obviously it's a breakup of some kind, it's family court, so they're dealing with all this stuff. And I mean, the need is just so huge. Like, I don't even know how you have enough time
And
to
you know
handle
what?
all these
It's so
things.
sad. It's so sad because I feel relationships are the core of our existence.
Yeah.
Yet we're scattered everywhere from that. And you know, when you talk about the law courts, so part of my journey was going to the law courts, getting their free support services app just to get you started, depending on your on your income level and your situation. So I know here in Vancouver, in that's where I started, in New Westminster, where I went. In a couple of days, they have a lawyer that sits there, and you wait. And the stories you hear, the people you meet. Oh yeah, I met some very interesting people, and men as well.
Yeah.
It's not a dating, not a hookup place there. I had some interesting things happen to me at first, and if a woman isn't grounded enough, oh boy, I've had my I had my share of fun there too. And I was able to catch the stuff pretty quickly. So going back to that, there's support there. But again, if you don't know how to ask the right questions, you're going to be again in circles. And then the lawyers, and that's the work I do. I'm able to catch the circles you're going in.
Yeah.
And if I don't know something, I will say, okay, I don't know this question. Let me refer you on to someone that I trust.
Yeah.
And they won't take advantage of you for money. Because there are a lot of people that they don't know, and then they just take their money. And I've been there, like I said, with my help, over $100,000. I mean, you see me well today. What could possibly be wrong with Nina? She looks amazing. But
you do look amazing.
Oh, thank you. And so do you.
Well, believe me, I've had my bout of depression and all that. I have bipolar disorder as well, so I got to really manage my I can't let anything get too mashed up. And I had to take myself off of all my meds, so I have to manage it naturally all the time. Yeah. So
but you have the tools and skills, right? So depression, I got to be honest, is not a disease. You can manage it, because my family has. It starts in families, but why you got it. So my work is when I did my work, it was getting to the root, right? So when one comes to me feeling frustrated and overwhelmed, I'm able to see the root. Through work, I may already know the root, but I'm not going to say it, right? So they have to work with me, and the root comes. They might say, I'm challenging a relationship, but you know what? They may be doing other things that's not making the root, maybe something different. It's not the husband. It never is. It's always within. We're always looking outside and blaming, saying, oh, it's my husband, my children, my mother did this. Yes, there are connections there, but for me to help you more is get to the root. Because some women, they leave. Like, for instance, me, I'll use me example. I thought I left a marriage, separated in 2012, divorced in 2015. I thought that was the right decision. Come 2017, I had another layer come up so I actually made that decision prematurely. I feel I have. But then when I really connect the dots in 2018, after my retreat to Bali, I had other ha-ha moments. That's when I really integrated my emotions. So we women are really suppressed. It goes back ancestrally, generationally. It's so deep. It goes down to our mother wound. It's so deep. It's unreal. I'm still going through layers. I thought that we're just this morning sitting on the couch. Oh, another layer, Nina. You need to need to either work through, what is it with you? Because you need to resolve this. Okay. Yeah. So I can see a lot of women being frustrated and challenged with this. But again, going back, I will help them get to the root, help them see aha moments, connect the dots so they can decide. Like you said, the grass is never greener on the other side, especially when you've spent so much time in a relationship, you've had kids, you want to see it flourish. You don't want to start over again.
There's a lot of training involved with those men. You got to train them. It took me a decade to train.
I have two boys, 26 and 21. Believe me, I do not. And I never bash their dad. I say, you know what? That is not, you live with me now. I pay my mortgage, I pay the bills here. I let you do whatever you want. But there are some rules, like picking up the cup and putting it in the dishwasher.
Yeah. Little things. So, okay, so I'm going to be absolutely linking everything below. And for any woman, like, if you could think of maybe one question before she makes a call to you, I think something like, do I feel confused about whether this is right for me is a good place to start. Am I like, why do I feel so unsettled, so confused? I need to talk this through with somebody who understands. Is that the mindset for somebody to pick up that phone? Or like, what would somebody be, where would they be at where they should take the phone and pick it up and call you and make that, you know, consultation happen? At least get that done so that you can gauge this and see if.
Well, first, a woman needs to, before she makes that call, is look at the events that we're having. You know, I like to help people give as much information, is to look at, start writing, say, what's been going on here? Why do I feel this way? And then decide, okay, I need support, because I totally agree. We all need support. We can't do it all. We don't have all the tools and skills. I know I didn't. And women often think, oh, I don't have the money, or what's the biggest gift is spend it on yourself and heal. Not only do you heal yourself, you heal your children. I've healed my entire family with the work I've done. You know, my father, you're Italian, I'm Indian, and from our cultural roots, you know, they want you to stay. What's wrong? Why can't you work out? He's fine. What's wrong with you? Right. And because they have different values and programming, right? My parents actually see now. They don't even talk about my divorce anymore. So the work I've done is huge to support not only myself, but my family. So going back to that question, you said, yes, when you feel something's not right here, we're constantly arguing, you know, the kids are frustrated, you know, we're having financial issues. Yes, get on a call with me, fill out my questionnaire on my website, and we'll book a time to speak. And then, as I said, my first 30 minutes is complimentary. And then I'll help you see what's been going on. I don't coach you on the call, but I listen.
Yeah. And the first step, like you said, is write down everything. It'll help with clarity. It'll help you to sort it in your own mind, and even what to speak about, you know, because there's just so much to talk about when you start unleashing, you know, the ins and outs of what's been happening with your personal situation.
Wonderful we have girlfriends. And it's wonderful we have girlfriends and we have friends or whoever we talk to, but I find that their relationship challenges may be so different. Their level of consciousness where they're in their life, their divorce may be different. We don't know. I'm not saying don't talk. And I think what you can, when you're, you know, my friends in my life are totally different now because I've changed. So they just listen. They don't give me advice.
Yeah.
I had to learn that too, because I used to do the same thing, give advice. We're very good at that, right? Yeah. Until you learn to take that advice yourself,
I think girlfriends can be afraid because they might be friends with both of you. And if you end up saying you're breaking up and then you stay together, it's like, oh, no, now I've said bad things about. What's that?
Find someone who's neutral.
Right. Neutral.
Yeah. That has gone through the journey, that can support you. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Well, this has been such a great chat. I'm really excited. So I'm going to say, so I'll edit this part out, Nina. Stay on the call after. I'll say goodbye. Okay. I'll clip this part and then, but just stay for a sec because I got to tell you a couple little things. Okay. Okay. Sure. So I should have said that ahead of time. Okay. So Nina, thank you so much. I've learned a ton, and you know, the biggest thing I've learned from you today, I think, is how much there is to learn. And you think you got it figured out, but there's probably layers to uncover. You've done the work. You're just like a guardian angel. You can take somebody and sort of guide them. And it's such valuable work that you're doing. And thank you so much for coming on here. And even if I could help one person with, you know, sending them your way, that would just be a miracle. So that would be fantastic. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Okay, we'll see you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.